If we go back to the ancient Greek, then euthanasia comes from eu, meaning good, and thanatos, meaning death. So in other words, euthanasia literally translates as a good death. But of course, we're talking about something much more specific nowadays when we refer to the word euthanasia. What we tend to be talking about is a doctor, or perhaps someone else, assisting a person to die where that person is suffering. And the reason why that doctor has helped the person to die, or the other person has helped the person to die, is because they want to relieve that suffering, or they want to act on the person's request. But this can be a very controversial term, and in fact a very complex term. Different people will use it in different ways. We can illustrate this first of all by the reference some make to a distinction between so-called actions and omissions. In other words, between doing something and not doing something. Now, I think we can all agree that there is such a thing as active euthanasia. Think of the classic case of the lethal injection. But some would also say there can be passive euthanasia. That is, for example, where we stop providing life support to someone with the result that they die. Some might say this amounts to passive euthanasia, although many doctors would disagree with that and argue that they are instead doing something like letting nature take its course. Matters become more complicated again when we look to the person who is having the euthanasia performed on them, if you will. Is this person consenting, so saying yes to it, or are they even requesting it? Or are they saying no, or are they in a different category completely and unable to say either yes or no? Think, for example, of a critically ill infant who can give us no idea of their wishes about this matter. So there are a great variety of complex distinctions, complex terms. Sometimes people use words in different ways. So some people will refer to death with dignity as a good thing. Others will say death with dignity does not involve assisted dying. But in fact, assisted dying is the concept we use the most nowadays. So discussion is less focused on euthanasia, it's more focused on assisted dying, by which we mean helping a person who, at their request, wants to have their life ended.